So over the last year or two, mostly through the vlog, we end up in my office getting quite a few questions about these two. So I thought I'd just do a quick introduction so you can meet our doggies. So this is mostly for the dog lovers out there. I swore I'd never get a dog. I was always a traveller and didn't want that level of responsibility, but I bought a couple of goldfish for my daughter, and that lasted about 2 weeks before she went back to campaigning for a dog. And I'd always had dogs, always had a dog as a kid, and it really saved my sanity. And after the first goldfish funeral in the backyard, it was time to bite the bullet and get a dog. So we got Tickles. Tickles, come here, darling. Come here. So here's a little rescue boy. Hop down, sweetie. Hop down. So Tickles comes with a lot of anxiety. He's either 6 or 7 now. We got him when he was either 2 or 3, but we'll never know because he came from an elderly lady with dementia and so many dogs she couldn't remember who she'd fed or whatever. I think he also had quite a lot of abuse because if I ever pick up, the wooden back scratching sticks, if I ever pick mine up, you are such a sook. I'll talk about you in a minute. If I ever pick up one of those, he's gone. He's under the bed shaking, and even with a broom, he's only just starting to trust that a broom's a safe thing. So I think maybe her walking stick, or I'm not really sure, but he came with a lot of anxiety. But even though he was intended for my daughter, he took to me like a shadow, and it's just been the most beautiful healing journey. I didn't realise how much I needed a dog myself, and I adore him, and he's a lot like me. He's happy in his own company. He'll go off at some point in the night to be on his own, and he's happy sitting outside a lot. He's not real keen with the camera. If I ever get the phone out to take a photo of him, he starts licking his lips and getting a bit anxious. But he's a gorgeous little boy. So he was already named Tickles when we got him. Trixie, this other one, so she also came with her name. Excuse me, Trix, come here, darling. So it was heartbreaking for my daughter that Tickles took so much to me and not to her. And then soon after we moved back to this area, back to the country, we were out one day in a nearby town, and we stopped at a little cafe, my daughter and my mum and I, and Trixie and her sister were in the yard of the cafe, and she was already a few months old, maybe 4 or 5 months old, and anyway, the woman said she was actually for sale, and you were waiting for us, weren't you? So she's a cavoodle. I'm not really into purebred sort of fancy things, but anyway, I thought I won't get her. I didn't want the responsibility of a second dog, but I thought I'll just see if my daughter mentions her again, and she basically mentioned her every day for the next month. So I organised to pick her up, and because she was a bit older, she was a lot cheaper than cavoodles can be, and thankfully she took to my daughter like glue, and they're so much alike. Even in her expression, when I get the dinner bowl, she's in circles and goes crazy. She's really full of expression, loves a lot of attention. You're a snuggle monster, aren't you? And my daughter's also the same. She's not at all contained in her emotions and her excitement and things like that. And so thankfully Trixie took to my daughter, and so yeah, we're now a family of 4, mum and daughter and 2 doggies, and my daughter has asked for chooks, but there's foxes here, so it'd have to be a really good chook house, but as I've said to her at the moment, I can't possibly take on the responsibility of one more living thing. It's enough what I've got. But Tickles, come here, darling. Tickles, come here. I can come and say bye to Tickles before we finish up. Come here, honey. Not you. We know all about you. Tickles, come here, honey. Good boy. This is what I mean. He's really independent. and she's very jealous. She's a lot more needy than he is. Come here, darling. Here. Yeah. Tickles. Ready to go. Come here, sweetie. They're just learning not to chase the kangaroos, and at this time of night there's quite a few roos out. There were just a couple down here before. So the dogs are learning not to chase them, because not only do I want the wildlife to feel at home as they've always been before we arrived here. Hang on, Trixie. But also kangaroos can kill a dog if you come up against a big alpha male and it sits on its tail, and it can kick a dog in a flash. So we don't want that to happen. Anyway, that's the story of our dogs, Tickles and Trixie, and they show up a lot in the vlog, and they're beautiful. They're beautiful natured. Yeah, you're a bit of a sook, aren't you, darling? All right, thanks for tuning in.